For a long time, Nikon's high-resolution mirrorless direction has felt like it was sitting in the background while other parts of its lineup moved aggressively forward. The Z8 and Z9 reshaped expectations for speed, autofocus performance, and hybrid shooting, but the more photography-centered segment that once defined the Z7 series seemed to lose momentum. This created a noticeable gap in Nikon's ecosystem for photographers whose work depends less on burst speed and video extremes, and more on resolution, tonal depth, and fine detail rendering. Landscape shooters, studio professionals, architectural photographers, and commercial retouchers have been especially aware of this absence. The original Z7 and Z7 II still deliver strong image quality, but over time they began to feel limited in responsiveness, autofocus reliability, and overall processing capability compared to newer Nikon systems and competing high-resolution bodies. As 2026 approaches, that gap is finally becoming the center of attention again. A growing stream of industry speculation, supply chain signals, and early development chatter suggests that Nikon is preparing a major return to the high megapixel space with the Nikon Z7 III. Unlike a routine update, this model is increasingly being described as a carefully repositioned camera rather than a direct continuation of past designs. Instead of competing head-to-head with the speed-oriented Z8 or the flagship Z9, the Nikon Z7 III appears to be aimed at a more focused audience, photographers who prioritize absolute image quality above everything else. In that sense, it is less about expanding features and more about refining what high-resolution imaging should mean in a modern mirrorless system. One of the key reasons this camera has generated so much discussion is the long silence around the Z7 line. While Nikon product cycles are not always predictable, the extended gap has encouraged speculation that the company has been rethinking the identity of the series rather than simply replacing the previous model. The success of the Z8 seems to have played a major role in this delay. By offering near-flagship performance in a more compact body, the Z8 effectively absorbed a large portion of the high-end hybrid demand. This may have reduced pressure to rush a Z7 III to market without a clear differentiation strategy. At the same time, Nikon's broader technological direction has been evolving, especially through its collaboration with Red Digital Cinema. This partnership is believed to have influenced internal development priorities, particularly in processing pipelines and video architecture. While the Z7 series has traditionally been photography first, the next generation is expected to reflect a more modern hybrid awareness without losing its core identity. The challenge for Nikon appears to be balancing these expectations without turning the Z7 III into a diluted version of the Z8. The most important aspect of all current speculation centers on the sensor. Rather than chasing extreme megapixel numbers for marketing appeal, the Nikon Z7 III is expected to adopt a more balanced high-resolution approach. Most credible expectations point toward a newly developed backside illuminated full-frame sensor in the range of roughly 61 to 67 megapixels. Some early prototype discussions even suggest a 67 megapixel variant under evaluation, while more conservative interpretations suggest around 61 megapixels optimized for efficiency, dynamic range, and overall image integrity. Either way, the jump in resolution compared to previous models would be significant, placing the camera firmly in the ultra-high resolution category. However, resolution is only one part of the equation. A more important focus appears to be dynamic range and tonal quality. Unlike stacked sensors designed for speed in cameras like the Z8, the Nikon Z7 III is expected to prioritize image purity at lower ISO values. This could mean a continued reliance on Nikon's traditionally strong base ISO performance, potentially anchored around ISO 64. If combined with a dynamic range exceeding 15 stops, the result would be a camera capable of extraordinary highlight retention and deep shadow recovery. For landscape and studio photographers, this kind of flexibility can dramatically reduce reliance on complex exposure blending or heavy post-processing corrections. This emphasis on image quality naturally extends into expectations around processing power. The Nikon Z7 III is widely rumored to feature a newer generation image processor designed to handle both high-resolution data and improved computational functions. One of the primary motivations for this upgrade is to resolve long-standing concerns with autofocus behavior in earlier Z7 models. While image quality has always been strong, autofocus consistency in challenging environments was often seen as a limitation, especially when compared to newer Nikon bodies and competing systems. The Nikon Z7 III is expected to address this through advanced deep learning-based autofocus systems similar to those introduced in the Z9. This would include improved recognition of subjects such as humans, animals, birds, and vehicles, along with significantly better tracking performance in dynamic environments. With a denser phase detection array and improved predictive tracking, the camera could deliver a level of focus reliability that finally matches the demands of professional workflows in wildlife, portrait, and commercial photography. Video capabilities are also expected to receive meaningful upgrades, even though the Z7 line has never been primarily video-focused. Current expectations suggest support for internal 8K recording at up to 30 frames per second, along with oversampled 4K at 60 frames per second, combined with 10-bit internal recording and N-Log support. This would position the Nikon Z7 III as a capable hybrid tool for creators who need high-quality video without stepping into dedicated cinema systems. While rolling shutter may still be a factor due to the non-stack sensor design, the trade-off could be justified by superior image quality and dynamic range. In terms of physical design, Nikon is expected to maintain its established ergonomic philosophy. The Nikon Z7 III will likely feature a robust magnesium alloy body with strong weather sealing, ensuring reliability in demanding environments. Despite its professional-grade construction, it is expected to remain relatively lightweight compared to the Z8, making it more suitable for travel, field work, and extended handheld shooting. This balance between durability and portability has always been one of Nikon's strengths, and it appears the company intends to preserve that identity. In that sense, the Nikon Z7 III is shaping up not as a replacement, but as a recalibration of what a high-resolution mirrorless camera should be in the modern era.